Hey there, it's Brittany Chavers, and I am back today with the Magical Mystery Bead Box, and I'm going to do like an earring blitz showing you how to make 4 different pairs of earrings using the January 2023 Magical Mystery Bead Box. So I saw there were like 6 mixes in there, and all of them I thought these are going to be so great to make beautiful pairs of earrings. And I kind of mix it up. I didn't stay within one mix. I loved designing using all of them together. So today we're going to make 4 pairs of earrings. One pretty easy one that we're going to start off with. We're going to take these beads. I think I used Anne of Green Gables and the Charlotte's Web mix for this one. So I have one of the flower charms, a large crystal, a green crystal rondelle, and then 3 metal beads. I'm also going to need some 24 gauge wire. This is Beadalon German style wire. And I'm going to take probably a good length of wire and cut that off the spool. And I'm going to slip on my charm, and I'm going to slide that to the middle. Pull this down to the middle. And then pull my wires together and slide on my big crystal. I'm saying this is the easiest one, especially if you know how to wire wrap, because it's just stacking once we get that wire through the charm. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my saucer, my green crystal, my little daisy spacer, and my flower. And I actually put the petal down instead of the petal facing up. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it like that on this pair, or this earring. Slide everything down, and we have a really cool stack. I'm going to try and grip my wire with my pliers and pull these beads down just a little bit more because there's a little bit of extra space right there. There we go. Looks good. I am just going to keep the wires grouped together, bend them back over my pliers, reposition my pliers, and pull that towards the front. Reposition again, pull that towards the back. So we have a loop. And I'm going to slide, normally I would hold it with my flat nose pliers, but I don't want them to crush against each other. So I'm going to slide my mandrels back in and start wrapping. And I'm going for a pretty sizable amount of wire showing here. It's going to be kind of messy. Stop, measure with your heart, I would say. Wherever you want your wire to end. I think that's pretty good for me. I'm going to loop that around to the back and trim. Next, I am going to grab an ear wire. This is also Beadalon. Open that up and slip on my earring. And we have a cute little funky pair that I think is going to be great heading into spring. Look at those cute little flowers and all that sparkle. That's something that's just going to make you happy. Next, we're going to move on to an earring that uses some of the paperclip chain. I'm going to cut off 3 links off of this chain, and I am actually using my memory wire cutters because this is very stiff chain and I don't want to mar my nice nippers more than they already are. So I'm going to count 3, 1, 2, 3, and cut the 4th. And you can kind of see how it's turning sideways. You're going to need to cut it a couple times. It's just very substantial chain, which is great when you're making a necklace or hanging something heavy. But we want to make sure we cut it apart correctly. There we go. It did not like cutting on the side. So yes, I would use a heavy duty set or your memory wire set. Again, we only need those 3 links I am going to, out of the Pride and Prejudice mix, I am going to grab 6 of these little blue crystals, 1 of the large periwinkle drops, I guess it's periwinkle, not blue, and a bead cap. And I need 7 ball head pins. So I'm going to slide on my large drop and my bead cap and start to wire wrap that into a loop. Pull that around. And then before I close that up, I am going to slip on my chain. You can grab your pliers or just use your fingers and wrap that extra tail around itself in a wire wrapped loop. These are very malleable, so they're pretty easy to wrap. And then I am going to trim. So we have a dangle. Cute little earring, but we're going to spice it up by putting 2 wire wrapped dangles on each link going up the earring. So I'll go like this, just like we did with the teardrop to the back, and each one of these will get 3 links. So I'm going to put 1 on either side of this blue teardrop, and then I'll put 1 on either side of this link right there, and same for the top link. I'll show you one more time. And then we'll just wrap. Again, wrap with your heart. Do whatever feels right. Snip. And I will continue that up the earring. All right, now that I have a really cute and sparkly piece, I just need an ear wire. You can use whatever ear wire you'd like, but I just have a silver ear wire from Beadalon, and I am going to find that top link and slide that right on and close it up. And we have these wonderful sparkly earrings. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And you can load those with as many beads as you like, but I liked seeing the silver links between. So there is pair 2. Pair 3, we are going to be using some of the beads from the Murder on the Orient Express mix, and some from Charlotte's Web, and I believe some from Anne of Green Gables. I need this pearl. We're gonna grab 2 bead caps, 4 of these tiny crystals that are just really cool, and this spacer. For this pair of earrings, we're going to need a ball head pin from Beadalon and some Supplemax. I'm using 0.3 millimeter. This is monofilament. Just grab maybe a few inches, maybe a foot. You're not going to need too much. And we're going to load all 4 of these crystals onto the monofilament. Then I am going to slide those to the middle of the monofilament, and then find just 1 on either side. Just pick 1 bead from the 4 that you slid on, and you're going to come back through the bead with the other side of your monofilament. So as you can see, this side, the left side, has already come through the bead going that way. I'm going to take the right side and come through going the other way. I'll grab both of my tails and then make sure those beads kind of stay in the middle. And we are going to end up with what looks like a ring of beads. Okay, just like that. So holding one side tight, I am going to start going through the beads again. I'm going to take this side, go through, and I'm going to go through one more bead, and it looks like the loop is falling apart, but trust me, trust the process, it's not. And then I'm going to take this end and come through this bead to meet that other tail in the same spot. There we go. And then we're going to tie a knot in these two pieces. Like this. So we have, oh, our little guy turned a little bit. So we have a piece that kind of looks like that, okay, like a square. And then I am going to do the exact same thing one more time. Well, I'm going to knot it one more time, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing and pull those tails through our square. So I'm going to go this way with one. So we're kind of backtracking a little bit. And then I'm going to meet that by going the other way with the other tail. And we are going to tie another knot twice. 1, 2, and we have a new rondelle. So I'm going to cut off my tails of my monofilament. Okay. And then we have our ball head pin. I'm going to slide on my pearl, a bead cap, and then I am going to put on my new beaded rondelle, another bead cap, but the bead cap facing the pearl itself again, and then I am going to put on my spacer. I'll take my pliers and do a wire wrapped loop. And we will wrap that around using some pliers because it's a little bit smaller. And the tighter you wrap, the more it holds everything in place, so nothing's rattling around. There we go. And we will trim off the end of our loop, our tail. Open up our earring wire. And you have a fantastic little beaded rondelle made out of more Jesse James beads. Isn't that fun? And super sparkly. This is a very dressy pair of earrings, but pretty simple to make once you make your beaded rondelle. All right, last but not least, I used the Murder on the Orient Express mix, and I grabbed 3 beads out of there. This beautiful hematite looking crystal, which is purple on the back, so you can choose which part you want to use as the front. I am going to use the gunmetal side. I got out this spacer that looks like a sea urchin, and then this little saucer spacer. I have some 26 gauge German style wire from Beadalon. And quite like that first pair of earrings, I'm going to go through our saucer like this, like it's a charm instead of just a bead. So I'm going to meet my ends here, slide that saucer all the way down, and then meet my wires. Then I'm going to come up through my crystal, but instead of piling on a bunch of spacers like we did in that first pair of earrings, I am going to separate my wires right here. And I'm going to take the back one, or one, choose the back, come through the urchin through the back, and then I'm going to take the second and come through the urchin through the front, quite like we did on those crystals, that last crystal pair of earrings. So I am going to slowly move that sea urchin down towards our crystal. You just want to finagle the wire until everything's facing the right way. Okay, so we have one coming from the front and one coming from the back. I'm going to move my urchin just a little bit here. There we go. So our urchin is suspended above that crystal. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. There we go. And then before I wire wrap, I'm going to take my pliers, hold the wires together, and I'm going to twist a little bit so we get a twisted wire right above that urchin to give it some more dimension. So you're just going to keep twisting and twisting until you get the look you want. All right, I have my twisted wire, and then I'm just going to wire wrap it into a loop. And messy wrap that around. Okay. We will snip. Grab an ear wire. And make sure your loop is facing the right way. And here is pair number 4. I just really loved that sea urchin and wanted to get it vertical instead of stacked. So I hope today you learned something new, and this is actually a reversible earring too with that purple. I hope you learned something new today. Let me know which pair is your favorite. We made 4, and thank you to Jesse James Beads for having me back. I hope you enjoy the January Magical Mystery Bead Box. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.